Hello everyone and welcome to the Smashi Business Show. Today is Friday, October 3, 2025 and I'm Abdul Majid Aman.
And I'm Masa. Hi Moni, and we've got a packed show for you today. So our top headlines for today are Dubai property market hits record 500 billion dirhams in 9 months amid soaring investor demands, and ADIA Goldman Sachs lead $4.23 billion investment in Häagen-Dazs maker, and Saudi Sukna Capital teams with US venture debt firm to deploy $15 million in MENA tech and SMEs.
A lot of money talks today, but the very first one is very big. In the first time in the history of Dubai property market, every time there is in a first, but Dubai's property market has entered record-breaking territory in 2025 with investor inflows and buyer confidence driving sales to unprecedented highs. According to new data from Fab Properties, the third quarter alone recorded 59,228 property deals worth 170 billion dirhams, up nearly 20% in value year on year. That pushed total sales for the first 9 months of 2025 to nearly 500 billion dirhams, and that's like close to half a trillion dirhams, and it's the first for Dubai property market.
So the apartment segment dominated with nearly 50,000 transactions worth of 94.3 billion dirhams. Commercial property sales surged 42% to 4.2 billion dirhams, while plot sales hit 36.1 billion dirhams. Villas told a mixed stories with volumes dropping by more than 23%, though values and prices held steady. The median sale price per square foot in Q3 rose to 1,685 dirhams, marking an 11% annual increase.
Too many numbers, but
too many numbers.
Yeah, luxury deals continue to draw headlines. Obviously, the most expensive villa sold was in Jumeirah second for 250 million dirhams. I don't know how much that is, but while the top apartment which was sold in Dubai was at Aman Residences, and just guess the price, it's 174 million dirhams for one apartment. And properties priced above 5 million dirhams accounted for 1 in 10 transactions.
So off-plan sales powered the market, representing nearly 3/4 of transactions by volume. So projects such as Benghazi Skyrise, Shoba Solis and Wadi Al Safa 3 led the rankings for new sales. Meanwhile, resale activity remained robust in areas like Azizi, the IFC Heights and Wadi Al Safa.
And lastly, analysts say Dubai remains one of the world's strongest property hubs, though headwinds may emerge. There was a recent Fitch Ratings report which projects a potential 15% price correction in late 2025, which is already here, Q4, as more than 200,000 new units enter the pipeline. And for now, momentum highlights Dubai's global appeal as an investment destination and as a living destination also. I don't think it's just an investment destination that you buy a property and then you make money over it. You can live here also. It's such a great place.
I think
Dubai, Abu Dhabi, everything.
Yeah, I think it's just, I think people are investing, I'm sure they're considering a life here in Dubai.
No, recently I was looking at this one video and very interesting stats from that even right now, if you try to buy a normal property in Dubai, so 1 square foot price is still at least 10 times lower than what it is in New York, in Singapore, the biggest hubs for property, which are considered to be the biggest hubs. There's Hong Kong also. And for example, if per square foot on an average property, not luxury property or anything, you pay 500 in Dubai, you pay dirhams in Dubai, let's convert it to dollars. So if you pay $130, $50 per square foot, you pay more, 10 times more. That is $1,300 in New York, Hong Kong, Singapore.
Yeah.
So even now when people say that maybe the property bubble will burst or this will happen or that will happen or market will crash, actually they don't look at the numbers. Globally, the places which we are talking about, Hong Kong is good for security. Singapore is very good for security. New York is not now good for security.
No.
But Dubai is, I think you guys do a lot of rankings where Dubai, Abu Dhabi.
The safety, yes.
Safest cities in the world.
Abu Dhabi, safest city in the world. Dubai ranked 4th, multiple times.
So, and they're beating like the best countries, best cities in the world.
I think it was always Amsterdam was one of the top countries for safety. I always put that in question as how Amsterdam
You've been there?
No, I just heard a lot of things about it. Okay, read things online. We wouldn't say heard.
But a lot of these people who are saying, even the Fitch reports, there was a Moody's report before this, there was a lot of reports which are saying that there will be market correction. So a lot of people are saying that the bubble will burst. And for example, the bubble burst means that 1 million property that you bought will go down to 300,000. That's when a bubble bursts.
If there's a crisis that's happening,
Yeah.
like COVID, like
Yeah.
what happened back in a few years.
Yeah, but it won't happen like that. Correction means that if you bought a property for 1 million, the next ROI, for example, if you earn 60,000 on it per year, you'll just earn 55 or 50,000.
Yeah.
That's even that. Then you're making profit on it.
Yeah.
So good news for consumers, people who live in Dubai.
You mentioned something like comparing prices to other countries in terms of real estate and investment. So I just remembered this video that I was seeing on, I was scrolling through Instagram Reels and I saw this lady that moved from London.
Yeah.
Right now, in London, the economy is not doing the best and they're having a lot of crash. The taxes, real estate, like prices are really up high. So she was comparing, like we here, because we've lived here for, I don't know, the majority of our lives, and we've seen this fluctuations and the increase of real estate. But she came and she's basically advertising to people that are living in London, okay? She's like, listen, we bought this huge house, this really big house, the same price, like it's for the same price as you'd get it in London for like a 2-bedroom villa.
Wow.
Yeah, she was comparing like a 2-bedroom villa in London can get you, with the same price, can get you this huge villa in Dubai.
Yeah. That's the idea. See, to be honest, the thing is that people who've lived here, who've seen it, as you said, who've seen it go from a property or an apartment go from 1 million to 5 million dirhams,
This is like,
they feel
that's a jump for us,
For them, it's like, oh my God, this is now 5 million. But people who are coming from these areas, London, New York, any place in US, UK, or the greater Europe, when they come and they convert their money and they're like, okay, for $1 million, I get this in New York, London.
Zero taxes, man.
Yeah, and then I get this bigger property for the same price in Dubai. So obviously they are like, okay, and they are the biggest buyers. It's not that is why I think recently DLD, the Dubai Land Department, a lot of the developers and constructors, all these guys, Imar, Shobha, all of them, they came together and they started this campaign where first-time property buyers will be given preferable access to new apartments, new buildings, and it's kind of very nice initiative. You'll get a lot of tax benefits. So it's they want people who are living here to be able to afford properties as well. Because right now, foreign investors are buying properties and then they rent it out or resell it after a year or two. So government is doing great. The property is also doing great. Don't listen to people. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but right now, if you look at it, Dubai still has room to become more expensive in terms of property prices.
And if you listen to real estate agents and brokers that always tell you it's going up, it's for their own benefit.
I think we also did this very interesting story where brokers made nearly, I think, $10 million last year.
Whoa.
Just brokers. So imagine there is potential right now in the market to grow bigger and better. But talking about potential, Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund, we also talked about one Sovereign Wealth Fund yesterday, Mubadala. We'll talk a little about it at the end of the story as well. But now, the biggest sovereign wealth fund in Abu Dhabi and the biggest, third biggest in the world, Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, ADIA, has joined forces with Goldman Sachs, very famous bank, and French private equity firm PAI Partners in a multi-billion-dollar deal for ice cream giant Froneri. It's very interesting who Froneri are, we'll tell you, but the consortium of these three announced a 3.6 billion euro or $4.23 billion investment to create a new ownership structure for PAI's stake in the UK-based company, which makes Häagen-Dazs and other global ice cream brands, which includes Cadbury and all these.
PAI currently owns 50% of Froneri, a joint venture with Nestle Ice Cream Division. So the deal reportedly values the company at 15 billion euros. Froneri's portfolio includes household names like Oreo, Cadbury, Milka, and Rondres and Häagen-Dazs, so alone sold in more than 90 markets worldwide.
Sweet deal for ADIA, but ADIA described Froneri, the company which makes all this, as a leading global consumer business with strong growth prospects. It said the deal fits its strategy of investing in high-quality companies alongside proven partners. So the fund, which manages about $1.1 trillion, in assets, ADIA remains one of the world's most active sovereign wealth investors.
So according to Global SWF, ADIA was the second most active sovereign investor this year, deploying $9.6 billion, just behind Abu Dhabi's Mubadala. So the global ice cream market is expected to reach $132 billion by 2032, up from $79 billion last year.
So last year, the whole world, all the companies that sold ice cream was $80 billion. And by 2032, which is in, I think, very less years now, not even a decade, it doubles nearly. So I don't know, people are eating more ice cream.
Or are we just becoming more consumers?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, but it's very funny sometimes when I look at these stories. So Jason Momoa is one of the brand ambassadors for Froneri. He recently partnered. Even the post that we did on social, I put his video. He's one of the newest brand ambassadors. So just imagine the level of company this is. It's a very big company. And now ADIA owns some part of it. So it shows you that whenever we talk about these sovereign wealth funds, the room somehow turns serious. Oh my God, trillions and billions of dollars, we should be busy. But they're investing in such nice companies and you're like, oh, they're buying ice cream business. Wow, nice. So it becomes very interesting when you go deeper and see which companies they're investing into. And buying ice cream business. It's going to double in the next 6-7 years. So
because
why
there's
not?
much more investment.
And the next story is about $50 million up for grabs. That's the easiest way to explain this story. If you're a tech startup in MENA, there's $50 million up for grabs. Saudi Arabia's Sukna Capital has teamed up with a US-based venture debt provider, Partners for Growth, that's the name of the US-based venture debt provider, to deploy up to $50 million in high-potential tech firms and small and medium-sized enterprises across the Middle East. So Middle East, all the countries. The financing package will include working capital lines, contract financing, and term loans with a special focus on innovation and technology-driven businesses.
Hansra, head of asset management at Sukna Capital, said the partnership will give founders across the region access to what he called institutional quality credit without giving up equity. So he added that this will accelerate both innovation and value creation in the fast-growing MENA ecosystem.
And licensed by the Capital Market Authority, Sukna Capital manages the kingdom's first open-ended, Sharia-compliant direct lending fund. I'll explain what this is. Too many words, I know. Meanwhile, Partners for Growth has already backed more than 250 companies in over 15 countries, particularly in tech, fintech, healthcare, and tech-enabled sectors.
The announcement comes as Saudi Arabia cements its position as the region's top venture capital hub. So according to Magnet, Saudi startups attracted 3.2 billion riyals, around $860 million in the first half of 2025, so accounting for more than half of all the regional funding.
Yeah, so if you're in Saudi Arabia, right now is the best time. Go to Sukna Capital, prepare a pitch deck. If you have a startup which is anywhere nearly remotely related to tech or somehow uses tech for whatever, even if you have an e-commerce site for new category or something, you're using technology, obviously you're making websites and all that, you can go to them and there's like $50 million. A little complicated, but I'll explain it. It's a credit line. Credit line means that they're not going to give you $2 million and be like, okay, invest, and whatever profit you make, we'll make 10% out of it or 20%. That's equity. Credit line is that they'll give you money and you'll pay them all the money back, but in short.
Loans or so?
It's kind of like a loan. Credit lines are loans, but they're a little complicated in the way that you don't have to give them back or you don't have to give monthly installments. You just have some fixed percentage that you'll return after 4 years, 5 years. So it's kind of like having good amount of money for 5 years where you can invest it, make something out of it, and then return the money to them with some profit. So it's a good initiative. Again, it skips the banking processes, because banking, there's like 100 million forms that you have to fill. You have to put assets for, like, for example, if I want a loan from a bank, I'll have to put my laptop, my house, my something as collateral. In these funds, that's the good part, that they just look at your pitch deck and they see the potential of you becoming a big company. And they give you the fund and you just return some part. So less paperwork, they just look at your financials, which the bank will also look at. So very interesting. We yesterday talked about a fashion fund also. $80 million fashion fund in Saudi Arabia. If you're a fashion startup, just go to them and ask them for money. Be like, need $2 million for this. So this is happening in the Middle East. There's a lot of money and a lot of funds are popping up. just for you to go and grab that money.
Yeah, so if you have this business mindset, entrepreneurship mindset, just
And
maybe Saudi Arabia is the place to be.
the most interesting part, you don't have to have something running up. Even if it's in your head and you can create a pitch deck and propose that, it's called pre-seed investment. But if you can even do that, come up with a good idea and prepare a proper plan that in 5 years, this is how much I will invest, this is the potential market. Just do your research and you can go even then ask them for money. Because all these funds, a lot of these funds usually focus on startups, early stage startups, pre-seed, seed startups. So yeah, that's the best thing right now. Just go, ask for money. Yeah, literally,
that
it's
note,
literally like
ask
asking for money, but with a good presentation deck, right?
With a good pitch,
yeah.
that's just
Work on your communication skills
Yeah.
before you go into that room.
have that perfect elevator pitch. Go
Yeah.
in the room like very confident, and
Yeah.
you might get the funding.
Yes, 100%.
And that's a wrap for today. Thank you for tuning in to Smashi Business Show. Make sure to follow us across all social media channels at Smashi Business and stay ahead with our daily newsletter. You'll find the subscription link in the description.
This has been a Smashi Business Show, Smashi Business production, part of the Augustus Media Podcast Network. A big shout out to our more than 2 million monthly listeners across all platforms. You make this possible. If you're one of them, we appreciate you. Have a great, great, great day. We did an interview with Basim Yusuf yesterday on Love in
and
the
it's
Way.
live on Love in Dubai.
Yeah.
He said a lot of interesting things.
So it's live on YouTube, Love in Dubai. Just go to YouTube. Instead of looking for how to make your communication skills better for getting money from these funds, just first Google Basim and Love in Dubai, and you'll see the interview, and then you can work on your communication. See you on Monday. Have a great, great, great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.